Welcome everyone to yet another edition of Artsee's Creative Wellness. As always, we have this amazing panel of artists who I think live and breathe art and heal through their art. So there are several clinical studies. Being a scientist myself, I did some research on this. And there's so many clinical studies that have shown the direct relationship between creative projects and mental wellness. And I have a list of all those studies on our website. I'd also like to take the opportunity today to announce the launch of Artsee's personal and corporate creative wellness program. The artists in today's panel, all of you, are part of our team, and there are others that have been in our previous webinars. So we're going to be bringing exciting workshops to help you de-stress and enhance your mental well-being, both in personal life and workplace. And our programs right now include art, music, movement, life coaching, culinary arts, yoga, Bali fitness, and so much more. So really excited about launching this multi-genre, multi-country project. We will be sending emails to everybody, all the artsy artists and others, whoever wants to. They can write to us if you want to know more about this and bring this to your personal space or your workplace. So that said, we will start today's webinar with introductions from our experts. They'll briefly introduce themselves and their area of expertise. After the introductions, we will move to general discussion. And attendees, please make sure, look for the QA at the bottom of the screen. You can post your questions there at any time. And during the discussion, we'll bring up those questions and we'll try to answer those questions. So let's start with the introductions, and in no particular order, but the order on my screen. Let's start with Michael. Michael Braudy.
Hi, thank you, Patty. Nice to be with everyone here. Hi. My work basically is about using violin and the voice to vibrate the body. That's the shortest sentence I could say. Really briefly, my background is in Western classical violin and then Indian violin, many trips to Calcutta. And I don't use Indian music now to teach it. I use it for resonance. So what I do really, and I give a workshop, and it's called Sound and Health Through Music. So it's for benefiting people's health through the music. I find that I get a lot of positive results from it, and it doesn't matter. My intention is for the health, but it doesn't matter what specific raga I'm playing. The health benefits seem to vary from person to person. I did do some recordings in India with a musician who's a doctor, and she was targeting specific things for specific ailments. So the workshops I started, I won't talk about my background anymore. I started the workshops in person. And then, of course, COVID came and they became online. And the advantage is that friends and people can attend online. So I have, for instance, a violinist fiddler in Glasgow who attends, who's a friend of mine, and people in, Florida or in, other countries. So that's a benefit now. And I also did it for a group in just this summer. I thought what I would do to show you is actually I put apart some snippets for you to actually see me doing the workshop. So you can see what I do in the workshop. That'd be interesting. Okay. I have three snippets that I put together from my workshops. First of all, one with the violin. When I play the violin, people are listening to it. I may play Bach or Indian music. And I didn't mention that an essential part of what I'm doing is the stillness or silence between music. I may not be the first one to have discovered this, but I discovered that in the moment after listening to, say, an Indian raga, it was better than the music. There's that sinking in that happens in the body. So that's part of the workshop. So you'll see that in the second snippet. I take it right to the stillness moment. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Oh, I have disabled screen sharing. I need to be able to share my screen. You might need to co-host us or just give us screen sharing. Okay, I'm in. Okay, so here we are. Here's my folder of videos. And the first video will be a little bit of how I play the violin for the group. Oh, I didn't share sound. Can you hear this? Put a thumbs up. Good. So that's also expressing the raga that the people are going to vocalize together. Now the voice, what you're going to see is me singing and then repeating what I sing. The participants who are muted are vocalizing with me, but you can't, of course, hear them. So let's see what that looks like. Here they're vocalizing with me. Just imagine. You can vocalize with me if you. So I'll be them now. And they may people like to sit for a minute or two. That's the silent. I'll just do one more of those, then I'll show you one other thing. Here's the tambura, just to show you. I use sometimes the real tambura. I love it with the real tambura. It's nice in person, of course. That was a tambura that I brought back from Delhi about 20 years ago, from Ricky Ron in Delhi. It's a beautiful tambura. You can't imagine the vibration and present for it, and sitting with it, it's really lovely. And then they will repeat that with me. I'll repeat it, and now the participant is repeating it with me. So you see how that works. And come back to me for a second. So that's how the workshop looks in its actual instantiation. I find people get more physical relaxation. You can ask me questions after if you want, but people have given me all sorts of testimonials of what happens to them in terms of healing or health. And I would say my study and practice and teaching along the way of Tai Chi, meditation, and all and everything, like all of you, everything we do enhances everything else we do. So I want to show you just one other thing. I did in Cheltenham, we did our Tai Chi workshop in England. I attended the English group with all my friends there. And I did this workshop one night, and I said, let's use the music room. And my friend Barbara said, it's busy, but we've got something better. They're going to let us use the chapel. The resonance of the chapel was really incredible. So this is what it sounded like. Oh, I can't press clear sound, but it's sharing sound. There doesn't seem to be a problem. Okay, so you should be able to hear this momentarily. Put a thumbs up as soon as you start hearing the audio. taken while I was doing this. There were 40 people, 40 of the 70 participants in the Tai Chi retreat. You get the feel of that now. So that's some examples of what I do and some of what it feels like.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. That was incredible experience already, those snippets. And
good.
you want more when you hear that, right? I'm going to save my questions for later once we are done with the introductions. Juan, would you like to go next?
Okay. All right. So I'm a musician. I'm a composer and a music educator. And the wellness that I do has more to do with literacy. It has to do with kids letting out their thoughts and their feelings through words in songs, for example. And I think that the ultimate wellness is the kids seeing the world as it is and really in the future maybe trying to change things. And most of my students are on that path. Most of my students, and we're talking about second graders, third graders, fourth graders, first graders, they're all about love, about peace, about, about their fears of this world and things that are very real. And I think that when they let all that out, it helps them a lot. It helps them a lot. That's as far as the songwriting goes. As far as my percussion classes go, well, it's more physical. So it has to do with creating teamwork through coordinating beats. One group does one thing while another group with other instruments does something else, and together they create the music. This takes coordination and teamwork. And well, I don't know what else to tell you about this. If you wanted to show you a video or something of something that we did during pandemic. And during the pandemic, all of a sudden, the classes were cut and I had to finish everything with whatever I could come up with. So it's very hard to do music online because of the connections and synchronizing. But I came up with an idea. We created a song, the lyrics, the music that I would sing, and they would agree, and they would try to sing it at their home, sometimes even mute it. So what I did was create a track of instruments, and I sent it to all of them. I sent it to the school. I sent it to all of them for them to sing with that and record themselves. So they would send me the videos and I would put it together in I don't know. Do you want me to show this, Patty, or do you want me to?
Yeah, we could do a short clip if you don't like a shorter clip. And then if we have time, we can do the longer later.
Yeah, let's see. Well, this is one that's called, can I share it? It's on YouTube. It's called Underwater. The kids were saying that they felt like they were boxed in during pandemic. And the idea of life underwater kind of fit with that. And they use their imagination. I let them use their imagination as far as they can go. So I don't like to do things very literal. So they went on this underwater thing about how life is hard underwater. All right, so how do I share it?
At the bottom, there's this share button in green, right in the middle.
Okay.
And you should be able to, if you click on it, it will come up like which screen you want to share, and you should be able to do it.
Workshop screen. Can
Or
you
you
see my screen?
No, you could just put it in the chat. If you
Yes, I will.
try to do that.
I'll put it in the chat. Hold it a second. There it is. The video quality is poor because they all recorded it with their phones or whatever they had at hand, but it came out pretty nice. I put it on chat. Patty, you want to share it?
Yeah. To break myself. Yeah, for some reason.
There it is. That was horrible.
Yeah, I think we can go look
The
at
audio is terrible. You can't
That was
hear the most
amazing.
important thing, the song. You can I mean, I didn't hear anything and I know the song.
Oh, you guys didn't hear it?
No, it was all wobbly. It was impossible.
YouTube, yeah. But the link is there for anybody who wants to copy and keep it for their, go look at it. It's just so therapeutic just watching the kids anyway. So, Vero, would you like to go next?
Sure.
Oh, great.
uh, Let me see. Can you see me now? Yes. I am Veronica, which means true and comes from the Latin veritat. And by saying this, I want to say that part of my practice as a dancer is to question what is reality, what is real. So for the purpose of this series of encounters, I will rename myself as a Lucien Radiante. I am a mover like everyone else. The difference is like I delve deeper into the consciousness of a dancer, seeing my body as something that is like an open matter that evolves, awaking the senses by sweating while I am dancing, and exploring choreography and performance, embracing the knowing of not knowing, and perceiving and feeling most of the time moments in which I am like speechless. So constantly I recharge and reshape the sound of my voice in order to let it exist, by letting go, by noticing that it's not always with me because it's air, noticing that my body is made of like all the forces. So it's basically nature who is going to be in interaction, in dialogue with the space in the present moment. I intersect the spaces. Maybe that word is a little bit. I think my face was like, yeah. I like to move in the space by thinking that I am a person who tells stories, not only maintaining a linear way of saying things, but also as the nature of movement more into like this non like like curvilinear time, in a state of transmutation and grace. Of course, I have a trajectory as a dancer. I've been part of like art institutions. I did my bachelor in Germany in Folkwang Hochschule, where I also learned repertoire from like a post-war lineage of artists like Pina Bausch, which I also had the honor to learn repertoire from her and from her dancers who were my teachers. I work with many choreographers in Germany, and I also begin my own work, which is basically process oriented until today. And then I moved to Mexico, where I also keep working with a network of artists, and I keep doing the same everywhere I go. I went to San Diego, and I did an MFA in fine arts, specifically as a dance maker, as a choreographer. And what was very important for me over there is to inhabit and embody the reality of the border, the crossing, and how much like I could witness like and in real time how the state somehow built in front of our face a very scary surface of power. So that was like something that really changed my life. And then now I currently in New York, where I keep collaborating and as a dancer and a creator with other artists, and basically in this search of being present as much I can in this life. My interest somehow right now is to dispossess my body, to try to like find information while I dance, how to break the trance in which we all are. And this is also something I will offer as a part of my series of workshop here. I feel like I've been working since I got pregnant in a practice I call emanation, which is a correspondence to the sea. So it's basically my body in relation to the water, in a place where I can write a letter to my body and understand where I am internally and how I am related to the space, and then giving some chance for some question to pop out, like, do I belong? Do I need to do what I am getting, what I need from my life, and so on.
That's great, Vero. Thank you so much. That really resonates with what we are trying to do as a wellness here. Looking forward to your workshops. So Sasa is joining us from Philippines. Sasa?
Hello, good evening from the Philippines and good morning to US and Canada, and good day to all parts of the world. My name is Sasa. I'm a movement artist, Butoh dancer, choreographer, healer, and cultural worker. I also work as an actor. And I love to collaborate using or rather exploring different possibilities of movement through collaborative arts. I am a movement director of Kapwa Movement. It's a independent platform for introducing Butoh in the Philippines. My work focuses on the authenticity of the movement in the spur of the moment, unconscious personas within, and reimagining collective memories through dance. So, how I connect this work, more specifically Butoh, into the creative wellness is that how do we reconnect with our body and reconnect with the natural world? I think that Butoh has a significant influence on how we develop and cultivate and rich inner life and deep focus, and also how to express our emotions honestly and openly with our body, moving in non-conventional ways. Because we tend to we learned a conditioned body. We learned so many things on how we should move or how we dance, but how do we reconnect in our primal body, on our primal movement? So those are the dynamics, and I usually share my workshops, movement workshops, which is called Kapwa Butoh, Enriching the Inner Body. This is integrating movement exercises and motivations of Butoh dance, centering on kapwa. Kapwa is a Filipino word that has a deep Filipino value based on our indigenous philosophy. Kapwa means the shared self, the self in the other, or the expansive self. How we see ourselves in everything and in everyone. And so here we explore walang malay, or the unconscious body, unconscious self, and pakikiramdaman, or the sensory and perceptive awareness. So there, I'm gonna show a video that I did in one of the universities, colleges here in the Philippines. And I also shared this workshop in the US, in Portland, Oregon, and in Japan. So I'm not really sure how I'm gonna share this screen. um, can I ask for help sharing the video? The link is in the chat. Mm,
I'm going to share it. Just let me know if you can hear it, because there seems to be some problem.
with the technicality. There. Maybe we can expand the screen. Yeah.
Can you hear it?
No? Maybe it's okay if it doesn't have audio. I can like put in some prompts. So here, as you can see, the exercises are exploring on body awareness, sensory awareness by manipulating time and space, using slow movements and really checking in with the body, and how we explore improvisation with different prompts, like walking like an animal or breathing like a plant, those kind of things. So this is like the part where we did concluding activity where the participants made a performance. So we did um a showcase, a choreography from all the explorations that we did. So there. There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to connect more and share more and collaborate more with the work that we all do. Thank you.
1 second. I'm trying to stop it on my end. So it's going to be in my background because I have like a gazillion screens on right now. And it's going on, but we can move on to Jayme. Jayme, would you like to talk about what you do?
Sure, thank you. Hi everyone. I'm Jayme. I'm an artist and art educator with a background in art therapy. I believe deeply in the power of art, that it can connect us, not just to other people, but also more with ourselves. Art has the incredible ability to break through emotional barriers, to help us express what words sometimes can't capture. Um, for me, it's been a personal journey as well. Being an artist kind of intertwined with me being a survivor of bacterial meningitis, where it played a really crucial role in helping me navigate my mental health challenges and the after effects I experienced from it, which led to just more. In my work as an artist, in my work in general, I focus on creating opportunities for people to explore their emotions through art making, whether that's through individual sessions or group workshops like we're talking about, or team building events. One of the most meaningful experiences that I've had was teaching art to children in a 6-week enrichment program. From the very beginning of that program, it was pretty palpable that the kids were uncomfortable with the art supplies, art tools, sharing themselves, being openly creative. But as time passed, and I almost want to say as I almost challenged them to create through art and use different tools and materials, you witness incredible growth, and the artistic abilities have improved aside from them being able to open up more emotionally. So it became kind of clear that the act of creating art gave them freedom and more confidence to share more about who they are. This is what I find so powerful about art. It really helps unlock emotions or parts of ourselves that we might be afraid to share. I've seen it happen multiple times, at least for myself too. The act of creating something opens up a safe space for vulnerability and healing. My artistic style reflects the same idea. I often explore concepts in my art of like hidden identities or emotional emotional expression that just might be far too difficult to express verbally. I use for my art, I use pour painting techniques and incorporate elements like zippers to show hidden layers of whatever I'm trying to show in my work. This mirrors what I believe happens in art as therapy. As people engage with the creative process, they begin to unlock and reveal more parts of themselves that have been kind of tucked away. I also believe that art, as I'm saying, art is a form of self-care. I live and breathe that. It's not about being necessarily good or coming out with something at the end that you're like, oh, this is great, I can sell this. But it's more about the process of creating itself. The process can provide relief, comfort, a way to help process complex emotions. That's why I love integrating art into wellness practices, whether it's with individuals or teams. Creative wellness is a way to bring people together, I believe, to foster connection and build resilience. And through the power of basically our hands, creating with our hands and our imagination. I'm honored to be here today. I'm excited to keep going into the conversation of creativity in all forms and how it could support us mentally, emotionally, and even physically with our well-being. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Jayme. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. And you're doing incredible work with kids. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
And we all want to be kids again, right? So,
Yeah.
yes, we have Trevor here. Trevor is like this music and tech guy who does just magic in Zoom meetings too. So, Trevor, would you like to go ahead and show us and talk about what you do?
Sure. Yeah. That sounds great. And yeah, I'm really enjoying hearing about. Oh, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, no, just one question because I got a request to record from you, but this meeting is already being recorded, so I'm not sure how that
It,
plays into it.
it's for one of those extra special things. So I won't actually be recording, but I'll be moving some things around with that. Great. So yeah, so it's it's been great to hear about all the things that everybody does. Yeah, I really respect what everybody's doing, and I in my work, I do a lot with music and technology, and have been exploring visual arts pretty extensively, like taking a situation like this and then adding something like this that reacts to movement and things. And then maybe allows people to be seen, but maybe fade into the background. So I like to take certain points of interactivity and maybe make them a little bit more accessible or adjust them so they're more or less comfortable. I come from a classical music background, so I'm a classically trained violist, my instrument here, and yeah, I've had many years of studies in a conservatory. And yeah, hours and hours a day. And one of the questions I often ask myself is I really enjoy music, but if I'm playing, Symphony Number 1 by this particular composer, if I haven't heard the music before, or if I don't happen to know about it, it's like how is an audience going to be able to connect with it, or could they connect with it more if they had some more options? So over the course of years, I studied, jazz, pop music, rock. Always been a big fan of folk music as well, and decided to take that approach into technology, which is experimentation and then storytelling. And after we kind of went through a period of time where we were all separated, I decided to add all of those things into the orchestral experience. I'm going to share a short video here of a orchestra piece that is takes place in multiple locations and is also interactive. It's called Cohere Touch. And I'm going to see if I can... There we go. And we should be hearing that now. Is that good? So this is with the American Composers Orchestra, and this is a piece that you can see the visuals in the background. That's a heart. It's like a tree, like slowly grows during the piece. And this group of people right here are each from different places. So right here, this is Madeline. She's in Florida. Diego's in Argentina, Patty's in California, Dorothy is in DC, Kate is upstate, this is Gabu and he's in Kolkata, India, this is Bernd and he is in Berlin, and then right here, right before this, this is Simbi Haruna, and he's actually in Uganda. He's running his internet over a generator, so his internet went out for a second. I think another performance we did, there was like a flood, then they got it back up again. So kind of different things going on there. But you'll see him in other parts of this as well. So we do this thing where we say hello to each other and people get to wave. And this is in the New School in New York City. And you can see here, Bernd in Berlin is affecting those sort of yellow circles, and then we pan out to the audience. and during the performance, people are able to kind of shift and change the sounds. Let's see, I'm playing. Oh yeah, I wrote a solo part in for myself. Couldn't help it. And the thing that, and right, so this next part, one of the things that I try to experiment with in my work is, while there's a ton of technical solutions to things, there's also, like in this case, there's an opportunity to use your skills as a musician and your different perspectives to try to figure out, like, how do we go about playing together? So what I do in this piece is I adjust nothing in terms of timing. Everything is happening as it's happening and being communicated. The people's sound is being sent to and from where they are. So there is latency across every single thing that's happening. And what we end up using is musicianship. So if you listen to this part, you'll hear that there's a violinist in Florida, one in Argentina, and one in California, along with the entire orchestra and myself plucking together in time with no adjustments. This is a very dramatic part. Oh yeah, and then we even have Madeline, who solos over the top of the orchestra. It's, at this point in the piece, everybody has learned where they can kind of play and how that feels. They can sort of feel it out. And then we get the audience involved. So in this, with this performance, they're clapping. In other performances, they'll sing, and in others, they'll actually get up and move around. So prior to the start of the show, there were also kids and things running around the front of the stage.
That was great, Trevor. Thank you so much. Trevor froze.
Oh, great.
That was
Can you?
great.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for showing us what you do.
I am. Looks like I'm stuck in screen. If you could. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we're good.
Right.
Thank you. So, Leela, would you like to tell us why she is so multi-talented? I'm going to let her introduce herself completely.
Well, good morning. I'm in Florida, so it is morning for me, but whichever part of the world you are in, have a great day now and for the rest of the day. After seeing all these exceptionally talented people, I'm not trained in any of the music or instruments, or I like to listen, but that's the extent of my expertise. So I call myself a casual artist. It's just because I try to use everyday things I don't like to waste. And so I collect all kinds of junk, and then I somehow learn to put it together. So art has always been part of my life because my mom embroidered, my mom crocheted, and sewed. So I've always seen that. And so you have scraps and you have things, accessories lying around the house. I never took to sewing because I could never match what my mom did. And I am the one who wants to be always perfect in what the output was, and that never worked. So obviously that's not for well-being, that's causing stress. So I just moved away from it. But I did finally, as where I'm today, much older than I was when I was in my 20s, of course, you slowly get away from things that you know are causing you stress. So for example, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of embroidery that was very, very hard because I was trying to show people, oh my God, look, I can do beautiful embroidery. But I didn't realize how much stress it was causing me, just to make it look good, you know? And I was never satisfied, of course. So if I see a piece, I only see the flaw. So I finally, as I got older, I went to one part of embroidery that does not require thinking. It's cross stitching or needlepoint or however you want to call it, and that has only one stitch. And you're not really looking at beauty as you follow a pattern. And when you follow a pattern and transfer it onto fabric, it's just automatic. And to me, it became meditative because there is no thinking involved. So it just let me de-stress. And my job is usually looking at the computer, and I work full time. My child is growing up, but as she was younger, I would be waiting at random places, just waiting for her activities to be over. So I started gravitating towards small projects like that I could sew when I was in the car. And then I realized I was spending a whole lot of money because that little kit that I bought was the same cost as buying a larger kit. And so for $20, if I got work for 1 hour, I could spend the same $20 and have something that kept me occupied for a year and a half. So I gravitated towards doing large projects, which took me 1 and 2 years to complete. And I'm talking needlepoint. They're very complicated, but I do little sections at a time, so it's very calming to me. But after I'm done, I cannot keep it in my house because to me it reminds me of all the things I went through as I was sewing it. So I give it away. So there are not any pieces with me, maybe one or two that have sentimental value. So the same way I took to card making, just because I collect a whole bunch of cards that I like, then you have a whole collection of paper. So you just recycle it. And then my daughter and I have jewelry. So when something breaks, I keep the other one and I put it on a canvas. So that's why I say like I'm a casual artist. But because of that need for perfection or the need to be, I don't know, just right. I was not cutting something as cleanly as I would have liked. So then I got into, many of you might have used it or know about it. There's a machine, there are several cutting machines. I use the Cricut, and that gave me precision of cut that just exploded the things that I can make with paper because the cut is so beautiful. So again, what I'm trying to convey here is I remove the stresses because I was stressed about the cut not being perfect, not about the beauty of what came out, because no one else saw it but me. But every time I looked at it, all I saw was the flaw. So the Cricut helped me to take that off. Like the machine cut it for me. So if something went wrong, it was the machine's fault, not mine. So so I kind of I'm old now, I think. So I finally embraced that part that okay, I don't need to impress anybody, or I don't need to, I'm just doing it for my satisfaction. And I think for the last maybe 15, 20 years, I have not bought a single card. I've always make my own. So over time, I try to give cards to people that are very personalized. Is it difficult? Yes and no. It takes a lot of time. I could go to the store and buy one for $15 and be done, but I could make one that took me a week. But the satisfaction of making that card that took me a week with all its flaws, because very often the recipient would cry because it's very personal to them. And that you cannot get in the store. So what I was giving actually was a gift of time because I gave of them a part of myself that I can never get back. So I have slowly gone to the Zen world of I am doing this for my pleasure, whether they like it or not. Once it's gone, it's over. It's done. I'm done. So I have, that's what I do. I always have a craft project going. I do work full time, like I said. I cannot sit in front of the TV and just watch TV. I need my hands to be busy. So I crochet because I don't have to pay much attention to it. When I'm talking with somebody and they get boring, I have the crochet in my hand. When I'm stressed about something, life happens. I was not crocheting when I was watching this, just saying. But as life happens, we go through very difficult times, and sometimes I can't sleep. So because I'm worried, so I take up this needlepoint project that I have kept, and I start working on it. I work through the night. Yes, so I'm sleepless, but the next morning, what I'm thinking is, well, I didn't waste my night. I converted it into something productive. I have completed 2.5 by 2.5 inches of needlepoint that, yes, I didn't sleep. Yes, I'm crabby, but I have this little thing that I made progress on. So that's how I use art. And I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow because, as you all know, if you start searching for crochet on your phone for projects, the next thing that happens to you is Facebook and everything else is throwing reels at you for craft, for clay, for whatever. So I get all these ideas that I now store and I go down that rabbit hole. So I don't know today what I'm going to do, but I want to show you, I'll share screen and show you some of my projects just because, and I'll also show you how my current project evolved. So I'm going to share screen just for fun. So this is, okay, so this is a sampler and okay, so these are some of my random projects, and I'll just tell you why they happened. So this is just like a thing I saw because it's like this first one is just like a coaster, but it's interesting because if you make 6 of these and then dump it into a little pot, it looks like a basket of flowers. So it was a tutorial I found on YouTube or wherever, and then I just faked it, and it's not perfect, but no one else will know it. This is like a little baby dress that we found the design on. It's just funky because it's the front and the back of a little elephant, and all it has is little dashes, so you don't have to be an expert to sew, but it's so pretty. And I had a whole collection of animals like that, a hippo and a goat and a sheep, and just the front of it and the back side of it. The mom had the loudest laugh when she saw it. So these are like I said, these are cross-stitch projects that I'm sorry. I think I don't know how to go back on this, but let me see 1 second. So I'll go back to this. These are cross-stitch projects that are very short time. I can do this in an hour or so. I collected quite a few of them, and then I realized I don't know what to do with it until Christmas came along and it was snowmen, and I just did the edges and stuck it on a card. So, and then that year's cards was all snowmen. And my daughter used this for a fundraiser and made a boatload of money on it. So this is a little baby booty because those are quick to make. So I just find the random pregnant woman, I should say, and then give it to them. And I may not know them, but I know them after that. So I just find my colleagues and just give it away. Similar to this one. These are just like thread tied. And I had this stone pendant from India. This is something that my friend's daughter wanted. She likes zebras and she wanted something to read a book. I had a tall piece and I had some broken earrings, so I put that around their head. These are 2 orange and blues that are my college. I'm at the University of Florida, and these are the university colors, and I gave that to the dean last year. So this is an example of a very complicated project. So this took me 2 years to do. This took me several years to do, but you don't have to do it all at one time. This bird piece is the only one that is with me because my daughter did all the birds and I did the rest. But you just buy the kit and do a little at a time. This piece nearly killed me because the fabric, I didn't realize that the fabric was black. So it was very difficult to sew. on black. You had to sit in a very lit room. But I had bought it. It's a beautiful piece. And it took me 2 years. It's with my daughter's godmother, who's also named Mary. This is called the season, the wreath of the seasons. Every quarter is a season. So you can see that this is autumn, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And this is a kit again, but after I put all the fall, spring, and everything into it, I realized that, hey, these are semesters. My husband is a faculty here. So now his room, he was forced to hang this in his room because I decorated it with the college colors. So it's sitting in his room. He didn't have a choice, but he didn't protest either. This is really cute, like I said, personalized, because if you look at this, it's for a friend of mine who can never keep her inbox clean. So it is peace and happiness, she reads, and then inboxes with no unread emails. I actually made that card because her inbox typically will have 1,000 plus unread emails. So this was for her birthday. This is a piece that is made, and I specifically want you to look at with her head decorations. So I cannot paint, but the picture is from the internet and we know how to fake it. And if you look at her jewelry, those are earrings from where the back broke off. And these are punched flowers, and we just put that into a skirt. This is some random pieces of paper that we use to make her dress. So it's on a canvas. It's all stuck on a canvas. Nowadays, what I do is, because I do a lot of stuff, I make sets. So this is a baby set, and it went with a card to one of my colleagues. This is a card. This is the front of the card, and when you open it, it's a 3D. This is a gift card holder, and it's for a colleague of mine who plays golf. And if you see, you can take out all these things, and you see here the middle two pieces hold a gift card. You just stick the gift card into that. And then this is just different cards. So this is a tuxedo card. This is a physician card. I also have like one with a woman's dress in it. Because someone said, what about women doctors? So then I made a dress that has, again, these are not my designs, but I just use different ideas. This is for two of my colleagues, and these are all personalized pieces. There's two of my colleagues who retired recently. This colleague is language arts. So I put all kinds of language stuff into it because that's what she teaches. And of course, retirement to me is the Adirondack chair. And at the back, the Wordle is all about writing and reading. This is a science professor. Is one of my favorite pieces. She's a Black lady. So I found this really beautiful little picture of her just chilling, and she was dying to retire. So those words were reflective of that. And she is brilliant. So if you look at this, it reads genius. And she cried when she saw this. And I made this at the same time because both these people retired at the same time. But the wordles are different. This is science, and she loves elephants. And so you see how you personalize. This is a wedding card and the inside of the card. And this is, again, a gift card holder because the little girl loves purses. So and these are like baby stuff. So this is the front of the card. You open it and you have a little pram. You have, again, these are not my designs. I faithfully follow other people's designs.
I have to say here, Leela, that my mom and I sat through one of her workshop and it was amazing. We just need to move on to the questions right now.
Okay. All right.
But these are so amazing. If you can, do you have a link to these that we can see later, or
I can send it.
Yeah,
yes.
Let's do that.
Okay.
But amazing, and the versatility that you bring to the table is just mind-blowing.
Thank you.
So we just want to go to some of the questions. One of the questions that came to me, Sasa and Vero, is like, what if I never danced in my life, right? And I come to one of the workshops, how am I going to do this? Am I going to be overwhelmed? So Sasa, would you like to go for that?
The workshops that I do with Kapwa Butoh is actually catering to everyone, especially to non-dancers. I believe that dance is for everybody. Um, I think that since we have this condition thinking that dance should be like this, we should be able to be this way to be able to dance. Not at all. For me personally, as an artist, dance is a way for us to connect to ourselves, to our body, and to our spirits, to the divine. And so dance um from the most primitive um era period, dance is a way to dance is like a prayer. Dance is a way to connect to the natural world. And so for me, everybody can dance. Everybody can be able to move in such a way that we can feel free on how we can liberate ourselves, our spirits and our bodies. And especially with Butoh, movements, motivations and prompts are created in a way where we can explore our body and our movement organically and in the most authentic ways that we can.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think that people, dancers, non-dancers, everyone can join. And even I believe rather, with other mediums of expression here, we don't have to be a musician to be able to join the music workshops or um visual arts. We don't have to be a painter or something, you know. All we need is that curiosity and that childlike um positioning. If for the lack of a better term, opening ourselves to explore and to be creative. Yeah.
Thank you, Sasa. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what we need to know. We don't need to be physically fit. We don't need to be experts. We don't need to know a thing, but we can get a lot out of it. Michael, there is a question for you in the Q&A. I'll read it out. The effect is much more enhanced in the chapel. Could more space, air, and the serenity in the ambience give a special connect, leading to more involved and in-depth singing because it's in the chapel? Or the question asks, like, it's like, does where you do it affect the outcome?
Well, it's a good question. I think is inherent in your question also, would it make a difference if you do it live with a group rather than online? Because online it's only going to be one person. Because of latency, if more than one person vocalizes back at me, they'll cancel each other out. So it won't be a good experience. The chapel, yeah, I think what I learned by doing it in the chapel is that I'd like to go into live workshops again and do it with more people. And in a space like that, definitely made a big difference. It definitely vibrated. I had a couple of people that I knew who told me afterwards. They were both also in the Tai Chi instructor area. One from England who lives in Portugal said that his body relaxed and his shoulders relaxed. I mean, we do Tai Chi for years to relax our shoulders. I mean, it's an ongoing process to relax your body. And he found that that hour did something for him. And someone else said her breathing opened up and she couldn't, all day she wasn't able to breathe fully. But but yeah, I think doing it live is an enhancement. Does that answer the question pretty much?
Yes, Kalyani is the one who asked. I don't know if she's online. She had some problems with internet, but that was beautiful. Thank you so much. That definitely answers the question. I know Juan here works with children a lot, but with groups of people, right? How effective is it to bring them together? Juan, would you be able to answer? Like, as opposed to one-on-one, when you have a group of people, they're actually doing it independently, but also together.
Who are you asking?
Juan?
Oh.
Well,
because he works with a lot of groups of people and children.
As a matter of fact, I have a video here of something that I did also during the pandemic with musicians, friends of mine from all over the world. And I gave them a piece to play and they filmed themselves and I put it together in a video. And they came back to me saying, hey, we want to do more, all of them, because it says it helps us not to go crazy here. They were, everybody was locked up and everything. So for me, music is, there's no way around it. Music is healthy. Art in general is healthy. I know more about music than other disciplines. So, for me, music is saves a lot of things, inside you, inside people. So if you want, you want to see the video?
We can play that right at the end once we're done with the questions. We can play
Okay.
the videos. And also,
And of
anyone else
course,
wants to show something, we could do all that.
and if,
Because we're trying to finish by 11:30, but we could go a little longer. That's okay.
and of course, it creates teamwork.
Yes.
It's,
Yeah.
that's harmonizing, playing together, being an instrument, being your voice, whatever it is. And Michael, I just wanted to comment something that I saw a documentary about experimentation with sound and brain waves. And they would play different sounds to people, and then they would ask them what they felt. And there was one frequency that everybody agreed on that took them to another level, that gave them almost an outside body experience, and that's 110, frequency 110. So I looked it up, and it is a sound that if you listen to it long enough, it's like meditating. So it was very interesting. I just wanted to comment to Michael because as he works with frequencies and the violin and everything.
Yeah, I have to look at that. That would be an A, a couple of octaves lower A, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'll look it up anyway. That's an interesting one.
I think it's a G, but
It's a G.
check it out.
Check it out. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just got a text from Kalyani saying, thank you, Michael, for that answer. She got it. And also, I think, Jayme, you also mentioned personal experiences. So you as artists, right? I'm sure while you're doing it, it also calms you because that is the first proof of concept, in my view, that it's actually working. Right, Jayme? Would you say to that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would say that's what started my passion for art as therapy and creative arts was I was struggling with my mental health horribly. And the thing that helped me, I wasn't able to express verbally in therapy, regular therapy with counselors, psychiatrists. It just wasn't doing it for me. But art did. I once I picked up a paint and a canvas and started messing around, that really, really helped. And then being able to show it, I think that's something too. Like once you share it with people, it might not necessarily be in like a gallery or what have you, but once you share it too, it's so rewarding and such a relief. But even in like just to give some ideas to anyone listening, and they're like, I want to feel that. I don't have paint. I mean, you could just, something I remember doing is I would doodle. I just doodling, like even now, if you're listening, you're kind of just like, oh, you just doodle on your paper. That's creative arts. Like anybody can do it. I love it. I think everyone can do it. And yes, absolutely. It helps me personally. And I think it can help anybody personally.
I love what you said, Jayme, especially the part that showing it really matters. And that's why social media is what it is, because all of us want to show. We don't have to be experts. And that's how we started the Artsee portfolio, where you can make, you don't have to be like a gallery in order to show your art. And everybody's art is subjective to themselves. No one else needs to judge that. I create and I feel good about what I create, and that's enough. And I do want to, if possible, I want to introduce a new panelist. Vero, can you come on screen and introduce your new panelist to us? She is a quintessential mom who works her art into her life with her little child, cute little Mar. I guess she had to go, but that's okay. So my other question would be like, we talked about coming to workshops, we're going to hold these workshops, but how do they take this back home? Say they are in a 1 hour workshop, for instance, Michael. How would they take this back? And what can I do to continue that, to reap the benefits of it once the workshop is over?
Is that a question for me, I guess? I haven't spoken to people about that. I mean, one can do vocalizations themselves. I haven't actually. I was going to say the experience of doing it with someone with a voice is strong. The answer to Anne, and by the way, doing it with a lot of voices might have a stronger effect on the vibrating body because we're trying to resonate the body. We don't even have to try. I mean, the body resonates. Taking it back, that's something I'd like to think about. Thank you.
Yeah, so along those lines, what we are going to do with Artsee workshops is we will have forums and discussion forums that continue the discussion after the workshop, because people may go back and think about it, try to do something and have questions about their experiences. So we're going to, it's not just going to end with that 1 hour workshop, but we're going to form communities of people, groups. I don't want to call it support groups, but wellness groups, that we're going to keep talking about it. And Trevor here works with groups of people. I was in one of his performances, that's how we met, where he involved the entire audience in a show. Is there something that you can show us? Can we be part of it right now, Trevor? I'm just throwing it out to you. I'm sorry, but.
Yes, absolutely. Let me see. I'll pick like a few people here, and actually maybe the two of us, if you can see me pretty well, is that right?
Oh yeah.
Should be able to see that both of us are right here, right? So I have like different ways of like making music. So if I add, say this, we should be able to play along with this. And then if whoever moves the most actually controls the things, you can kind of see yourself moving and shaping these different things. So that's an example there. And then even while that's happening, you can take, say if I have my instrument, and even add like a lot of extra effects like this.
So my moving my hands is actually causing something there, Trevor?
Yes. And we can make it so that it's just you even. And
the power.
If we wanted to get really crazy, I think we could. I'm going to hit a button here and see if this comes in. And we have like a few of us. So if everybody, say, takes a turn kind of like waving, you'll find that it'll go to your square. And I'll let me see here. Let's go. There we go. And then we can even bring everybody
Amazing.
together.
Mar's in it too. There's Mar.
So you can kind of see if everybody's moving that we're all kind of in this same image together. And so that's kind of like taking the different aspects of movement sort of messing with it and seeing what we can do. There is a new thing that I've been working on that I was working on like a little bit earlier today. I'm going to hit a button and it's going to take a moment to load. But if we take, so you can see there's notes at the top, and this is something we were thinking about, something maybe so you can take home. If you see how I move my hand, those notes change at the top. If I bring my other hand up, that note should start to come out here. Um, so there's some
Is this
working on
something the
some.
audience can also be involved with?
Yes, actually, you could do this right now. I'll switch over to you here. So if you you put your right hand, if you raise it up to find a note, and then move your other hand up for volume. Now, if you point with your right hand, you'll get a. If you point up with your pointer finger.
Oh gosh.
So you can see it's actually, this one's like a little more specific.
This is beautiful, Trevor. This is mind-blowing. Amazing
Yeah,
team.
it's
I mean,
like,
this is great. Thank you so much. Yes, I think Mars enjoying it too. So, one of the questions I have, because a lot of our sessions are going to be online, it's global, right? How effective are those compared to, of course, in person is very different. Like Michael said, like you could be in a chapel, for instance, but reality is we're going to be online a lot. So anybody has experience like how to make some of the challenges and some of the benefits of being online. Anybody?
Well,
Yeah, Michael.
Well, I was just going to mention that people find the benefit online, so it doesn't have to be in a chapel. The online workshop works really well. But I was going to say what people can take back with them is also to do vocals themselves, but also to look at silence after music. I was at a concert in Edinburgh a couple of months ago, and the conductor of the BBC Scottish Orchestra played a piece that was about grief. And at the end, he bowed his head and held it on the podium for 1 minute after the symphony ended. The audience didn't applaud. It was beautiful. In other words, he elicited that silence out of them so that they could feel the effects. And that's so important. That's one of the aspects that I do as well with silence. Yeah. A good violinist will do that too after playing something. They'll hold the bow on the string. Until they put it down, the audience is not going to applaud because it's not over yet. You know what I mean, Trevor? As long as as long as the artist is like this at the end, people are waiting for them to, okay, now we can interrupt the silence. So that's something they can do.
Yes, thank you. You bring up a very important point of silence. In fact, we should have a workshop on silence where we don't ever do nothing. I think Leela brought this up too, right? Leela, like you want to be crocheting, but you're not like thinking about, right? And also it's meditative. What do you think about that? Like a meditative process?
It is. It is because I think you kind of are not worrying about what is worrying you or what is stressing you. You are focusing. The art is specific enough that you have to focus on it. So you're forcing your mind away from whatever it is that is stressing you into something else. And the mind is getting a break that I think in that break, you get solutions. So, speaking to your earlier question about how this can be taken online, I have a quick example to show you is that I bought this was part of a set of cards. It's a bunch of eyelashes. I don't know why it was in a set. I hate it. It's like 6 designs, and I don't know what to do with it. Probably it appeals to a teen, but not to me. So what I did was I had these papers lying around, like I said, all kinds of stuff lying around. And what I did was I stuck them together to make this. It takes all of 10 minutes. And then you just put this on this, and you have a Christmas card to go. It's all basically just cutting paper. So all I did was I have 6 of these that I now have 6 Christmas cards out of. So it's just a matter of once you start doing it, your mind will go to that, and somehow you can escape the stress.
And for those of you who want a holiday cards, we will be having a workshop by Leela. It was very therapeutic to do that with her. Thank you so much, Leela. And we got 2 free cards in the bargain. So much more. So I'm going to leave it to experts if you want to, Vero, or anyone wants to bring up something, because you live and breathe this in your everyday lives. So any particular topic you want to bring up about art as wellness? Juan, Trevor, putting you guys on the spot here. I just think it's a beautiful what we are bringing from Artsee is I think it's not just it's just art therapy. It's just movement. Like if we have a whole day, we're gonna move. Movement is so important, like Sasa said and Vero said, and like connecting to a consciousness through physical movement, connecting those two dots. Then you go on to culinary arts. And actually, in our audience here, we have a couple of people who are going to be joining our team. And that is Annie Addington, who's an incredible singer from Florida also. And we have Tanvi Mehra, who's going to do our life coach. She's going to be doing some life coaching and talking about abundance. They will be coming in a separate panel next time for the next webinar. So I would love for all of you to join the next webinar. But also just spread the word about us and keep doing the amazing stuff that you do. It was a great webinar today. Thank you. I learned so much today about what art can do for me. Any other questions from, I think there is one open question. Manoj is asking, this is not a question, he says. Rather, it is a comment. Listening to different artists today, the take home for me is that being detached from the results and just loving the process of doing art is what brings emotional well-being to the artist. What a lovely note to end this webinar on, Manoj. Manoj is an incredible watercolor artist. He's an artsy artist. And he's just mind-blowing, and that was beautifully said, Manoj. Thank you so much for that. On that note, I'd like to thank all the panelists, all the audience who have been here, and have a wonderful rest of Sunday. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks for all the people participating. Bye.
Thank you so much.